The AI industry's biggest legal battle just entered its most consequential week, and a damning journal entry may decide whether OpenAI was always headed for a $100 billion reckoning. Meanwhile, Anthropic revealed growth so fast, its own CEO called it too hard to handle. NVIDIA's China revenue collapsed to zero. Palantir's Rule of 40 hit 145. And GPT-5.5 Instant is now your default. It's May 7th, 2026. This is the Daily Alpha. Let's get into it. A single journal entry written in 2017 may now decide a $100 billion lawsuit. The Musk versus OpenAI trial in Oakland entered week 2. With Elon Musk seeking over $100 billion from Sam Altman and Greg Brockman. Brockman's own 2017 note, quote, "warm to steal the nonprofit from Musk to convert to B Corp without him," is now Exhibit A. The central legal question: were OpenAI's founding communications an enforceable charitable trust? The numbers cut hard. Brockman pledged $100,000 to the nonprofit, never paid it, and now holds a for-profit stake worth roughly $30 billion. Ex-CTO Mira Murati testified that Altman's management was, in her words, difficult and chaotic. Musk himself texted Brockman seeking settlement 2 days before trial. It failed. For investors, the implications run wide. If the jury finds a binding charitable trust existed, every AI lab with a nonprofit origin story is on notice. Watch for closing arguments and how the jury interprets those early founding communications. 80 times. That is not a typo. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei revealed this week that the company's revenue and usage grew 80-fold in Q1 2026, against an internal forecast of just 10 times. To power that trajectory, Anthropic locked in SpaceX's entire Colossus One data center in Memphis. 300 megawatts, over 220,000 NVIDIA GPUs. For investors, this deal simultaneously validates two positions: Anthropic as a Tier 1 demand driver and large-scale compute as the scarcest asset in AI. The enterprise finance push is equally aggressive. An appearance on stage with JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, 10 finance agent templates, and a Moody's MCP integration all landed this week. But Amodei's sharpest warning was about cybersecurity. The upcoming Mythos model has already surfaced tens of thousands of software vulnerabilities globally. A, quote, cyber moment of danger, with Chinese models only 6 to 12 months behind. Watch for Mythos's public release date. That cybersecurity window is closing faster than most realize. OpenAI didn't just update a model this week. It quietly reset the default baseline for every ChatGPT user on the planet. GPT-5 Instant went live. May 5th is the new default, replacing GPT 5.3, with one headline stat: 52.5% fewer hallucinations on high-stakes domains. That is a material number for enterprise deployments, where a single AI error carries real financial and reputational cost. The API endpoint is now chat latest, but the scale story runs deeper. OpenAI confirmed $50 billion in compute spending for 2026 alone, and finalized a $10 billion joint venture with TPG, Brookfield, Advent, and Bain Capital, specifically structured to accelerate enterprise deployment. The AWS partnership bringing Codex into Amazon Bedrock expands OpenAI's distribution without $1 of incremental sales cost. These are the simultaneous product and infrastructure moves of a company that intends to own the enterprise AI stack end-to-end. Watch for the mystery model, reportedly red-teamed ahead of the May 6 conference. If it's a next-generation reasoning system, the competitive landscape shifts again immediately. Jensen Huang delivered the number the market has been quietly dreading: 0. NVIDIA's China market share, which once stood above 90%, has collapsed to nothing, with no revenue expected in Q1 fiscal 2027. Blackwell and Rubin GPU lines are now formally US-only strategic assets, and Huang isn't fighting the policy. He's leaning into it. At the Milken Institute, Huang reframed NVIDIA as the engine of American reindustrialization. AI creates factory jobs, data center jobs, and sovereign capability, and the US should have, in his words, the first, the most, and the best when it comes to AI hardware. But Huang also unveiled a genuine surprise, an open-source quantum AI model called Ising, designed to run practical workloads on quantum processors at scale. If it performs, smaller quantum startups gain a significant competitive edge against well-capitalized incumbents. For investors holding NVIDIA into May 20th earnings, the central question isn't the China revenue loss. It's whether US, European, and allied demand is accelerating fast enough to absorb it. Watch the guidance range closely. Palantir posted the kind of numbers that make analysts double-check their spreadsheets. Q1 2026 revenue came in at $1.63 billion, up 85% year-over-year, shattering Wall Street estimates across the board. U.S. commercial revenue surged 133%. U.S. government revenue rose 8%. And the company's Rule of 40 score, which combines revenue growth rate with profit margin, hit nearly 4 times the threshold that defines a financially healthy software business. CEO Alex Karp raised full-year guidance to $7.66 billion, implying 13% growth for the year, with the U.S. segment alone projected to expand 120%. His framing was direct and deliberate. Demand from the U.S. warfighter cannot be met, and the AIP platform is the essential layer underneath nearly all AI workflows that generate actual battlefield value. That is a positioning statement designed to defend against every enterprise AI competitor simultaneously. For investors, the deeper question Palantir forces is whether a government-first, anchored growth model, the kind that prioritizes defense and intelligence contracts above all else, is now the template for sustainable enterprise AI monetization. Watch whether commercial enterprise ARR acceleration continues at the same pace as government. This week's defining signal is hard to miss. The AI industry is repricing simultaneously for governance risk, geopolitical alignment, and the rare companies that can convert capabilities into measurable revenue. Your next 3 calendared inflection points: the Musk vs. OpenAI verdict, NVIDIA's May 20th earnings call, and the EU AI Act's August compliance deadline. Subscribe, follow us at The Daily Alpha, and share this with someone who needs to understand where the money is moving. This is The Daily Alpha.